Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us.
The only deliverance the other nations are going to get is deliverance right into slavery. They're going to be our slaves, thus saith the Lord.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us. Why? God, why?
Jeremiah 30:16 tells you every last one of the other nations, which are non-Israelites, are going into captivity. They're going into slavery underneath the Israelites when the Israelites go back into rulership. When is the Israelites going to go back into rulership? When the Lord comes. That's what he's coming to do. He's coming to set up the Israelites in rulership, beginning with King David. And when I say rulership, meaning the planet Earth, we're going to be ruling the planet Earth in righteousness after he puts down the wicked. Who's the wicked? The Edomites, which are in power right now. Who are the Edomites? The so-called white man.
Why did God make us Edomites? God hates us. Why? God, why?
Praise the Lord, for he is greatly to be feared. He removed the wicked and put us righteous in power to victory and the dawn of a new era.
And when I say rulership, meaning the planet Earth, we're going to be ruling the planet Earth in righteousness after he puts down the wicked. Who's the wicked? The Edomites, which are in power right now. Who are the Edomites? The so-called white man.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord Yahweh. Praise ye the Lord.
Beginning with those top banking families, which happen to be so-called white people. We're talking about the Rothschilds, Rockefellers. We're talking about the DuPonts. We're talking about the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, and families like that. Okay, so when Yahweh Shai comes back, he's going to take away their rulership, which they're enjoying right now. That's the long and short of it.
You need
This
to pick up
ministry,
the
man.
pace, James. I need 200 pounds by sunset.
Yes, sir. I'm on it, Master. Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
Why did God make us Edomites?
I hate my life.
Praise the Lord, for he is greatly to be feared. He removed the wicked and put us righteous in power.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, another edition of Morning News and Prophecy, and going into the digital nightmare, that's being rolled out, and while they have everyone distracted by all these different, vain, talking points, arguments, and these devils are rolling out a system of complete control, and you have first beginning with Donald Trump, being placed in the White House, which he's a character that's meant to cause controversy and distraction, because controversy keeps people distracted. So whether you hate, all right, or whether you, okay, love Donald Trump, okay, you're distracted by his antics, okay. Then they just put this Muslim mayor in New York, okay, was that just another distraction, something else for people to talk about and be obsessed with, okay. Then they did the, they did got the food stamp, that's an ongoing. Nobody know what's going on with the food stamps now. There's so many different reports and this and that that change every, few hours, and it's just a distraction. All these things are nothing but distractions while they rolled out a system of absolute control. Because that's the thing, they want absolute control. Okay, these, lower level, wealthy Edomites, this is their opportunity for a money grab. But the higher up you get amongst Esau, Edom, it's less about money and more about control, because the higher up you get, they got all the money. Okay, the people that we see that are billionaires and centibillionaires, which is 100+ billionaires. Well, guess what? They answer to an elite class of bankers. Okay, and these bankers want a system of complete control rolled out in the earth. Okay, and they're setting up this big snare, this big trap that people are being herded into this system. Okay, and the more you depend on this man, and the more that you love your current life in this society, the more leverage that he has on you. All right, and it's going to be used to trap you into a system of complete control. Okay, so let's get this. We always get it. Let's get this in the book of Luke, chapter 21. Okay, and I got a couple of videos I want to get into, but let's get this in the book of Luke. All right, chapter 21. All right, this is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 34. It says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with the fighting and drunkenness and cares of this life, so that the day come upon you unaware." And this is why Yahweh Shai is warning us to take heed to ourselves, making sure we're on point. This is a time to be detached from this world. We should be on the outside looking in and the things that's going on in society. Okay, this ain't we shouldn't be entangled, okay, in the cares of life that these people are entangled with, okay, or overcharged with some fighting and drunkenness, because you got people that's doing bad, and then you got people that's still doing okay, that's still in their party spirit, you know. You got people that's just distracted, just overwhelmed by distractions. You see that they can't see what's happening, but the Lord, through this wisdom, you know, He has set us on the outside looking in, you know, and Satan is always trying to pull us back in, through different avenues. Like I say, whether it's the cares of this life, whether it's through lust, partying and chilling and kicking in, and getting caught up in that aspect. Okay, you got this going on, you got that going on, you got too much, going on. Or you see, your mind is occupied by things that don't matter. Because Satan is always trying to pull us into the cares of this life, because that's where everyone is distracted at. Okay, while Esau, Edom pulls off, this digital prison, this system of complete control. Okay, it said, "For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth." Yeah, because these people, they're not seeing the whole picture. They're seeing glimpse. Even people that think that they're woke and own to something, they're seeing a little glimpse of a piece of the picture, but they're not seeing the whole picture of what this devil is doing, what he's getting ready to roll out. Okay, and he's bringing the chaos. He's bringing desperation. Okay, for people to beg for a solution. Okay, and their solution is going to be a system of complete control. All right, and right now we're going through the phase of psyops where he just has people all over the place and breaking them down. Okay, he's dangling the carrot in front of them. You know, he's putting them in constant fear, panic, anxiety. You know, then he gives them a little glimpse of hope, and then hope is taken away. Okay, and it's all a snare, it's all a trap. Okay, to break you down and make you defenseless, man. And a lot of people are going to be defenseless against what this man is doing. You know, and this is why we should be grateful to Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Okay, it said, for as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth, showing you that this is going to be global. Okay, this system that this man is getting ready to roll out, or is rolling out, is global. Okay, so watch ye therefore and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. You know, so we're commanded to watch, be circumspect, man, to investigate what the hell is going on. You know, and the thing is, we're being guided by the Spirit. Okay, to where when we investigate, the Lord puts the Spirit on us to search these things out on our watch. Okay, the Lord, as the Spirit, source it out and showing us what this is, man. Okay, and this devil is rolling out a big trap. Okay, in the earth. All right, in the form of the digital system. Okay, and to fully link you and to fully trap you in, he needs you to combine with his technology. He needs you to merge with his technology, man. Okay, so I got this video. I got two videos, but I want to get this one first, you know, because there's been a lot of talk with UBI. All right, on the surface level, well, UBI sounds great. You know, it sounds like free money. It sounds like Esau is doing, all right, the honorable thing by giving people money because of AI is taking so many jobs. Okay, then you have this thing with the tariff check. You know, that's a rumor. People talking about a tariff check. You know, Donald Trump supposing a tariff check. Okay, which Lord will, I can look into those things. Okay, today, kind of see what the hell they talking about. But all in all, we know that whatever this man calls himself giving you, okay, it's just nothing but the lure. Okay, for the trap. Okay, and UBI, you know, this is nothing but a lure. All right, for this complete system of control that the devil is rolling out. Okay, now let's go to this video. It's about 9 minutes. And let it play. All right. Goes a 9-minute video. It says UBI is not freedom. The digital trap you're not ready for. Okay. So let's play this. And you're gonna go into the UBI. All right. And then we'll just segue and show you where we at. You know. So there you go right here, redacted. All right, which, you know, we'll tap into these things later on. But let's play this. Hold on, let me. So I can go and put this to watch later. All right, let's play this. Fair use, fair use. All right, this is not for monetary gain. I'm not making any profit, for educational purposes only. Fair use.
This is for educational purposes only. What you're about to hear is factual. Sources are in the description. Check them yourself. This isn't fear, it's preparation. Pushbacks, and the questions you're not asking. Why should you care? Why does this matter to you? Because this isn't about crypto, not just tech trends, not just banks or tokens. This is about your income, your access, your freedom, your future. Skeptics call UBI free money. Ask Finland. From 2017 to 2019, they ran a UBI pilot. Less stress was reported. No job growth. No end to poverty. It didn't work. They ended it. Ask Ontario, Canada. They launched UBI in 2017, cancelled after a year. Why? Too expensive, too dependent, too risky. Ask the United States. Stockton, California ran a pilot in 2019, $500 a month. No strings attached. People paid debt, bought food, also became more dependent. So what happens when this scales? When it's tied to digital ID, social credit, mandatory compliance? UBI sounds good on paper, but in practice, it's a trap if you don't own. If the system controls your income, it controls you. This is not conspiracy. Read the World Economic Forum. Check the IMF. Look at the Bank for International Settlements. They're telling you, a tokenized economy is coming. A programmable system, access based on permission, and permission based on behavior. CBDCs, digital IDs, social credit, already live in Nigeria, China, India, parts of Europe. This isn't the future.
And that's almost, see, what we have to understand, that's almost 40% of the world's population. You know, just China and India alone, which they already are heavy on digital ID and digital currency. In China, you know, being at the forefront with a social credit system. You know, because he said this system is going to be based on permission, and permission going to be based on behavior. All right, you're going to have to be a full-blown Satanist in this new system. Okay, you're going to have to, just like these celebrities, they have to be okay with, you know, pedophiles and, all right, and XEX trafficking, and, okay, the trans, the alphabet, okay, like you just seen the latest with Snoop, okay, he said a little something, what immediately happened, he had to have an alphabet character on this little cartoon, okay, and these celebrities are already, you can look at these celebrities and they're already on social credit score because they had to act a certain way, you know, because their whole council culture, okay, was a demonstration of punishment of social credit system because you will get counseled by what saying something that wasn't status quo, that wasn't politically correct. Okay, so you look at these celebrities, they're already on a social credit score. They can get cut off, okay, from their livelihood, okay, if they don't act a certain way. But he wants everyone to be under that standard, okay? And now to do that, to control, okay, hundreds of millions of people, because he plans to depopulate. All right, remember the UBI, okay, he plans to do this as he's depopulated. Okay, as he pushes, you know, the purge atmosphere, you know, we still have, you know, a pestilence, okay, that's looming, you know, certain pestilence that's going to be unleashed, okay, to depopulate. You see? But just going back into it, India and China, that's 34-35% of the Earth's population. Okay, so they're starting with these big populations first and working their way down. Okay, so this system is already being rolled out. Okay, globally. You see, and they just know America is gonna be the, you know, they're gonna be the most violent because of the weaponry that the citizens have. Okay, so what we're seeing is a siege being put on America through what? Economics. Is an economical warfare of attrition. Okay, that's wearing people down, has people clearing out their bank accounts. Okay, has people, you know, bugging out and breaking down, stressing out. You know, so they want to break the minds of America. Okay, before they get aggressive with rolling this out. Okay, so let's play this.
This is now. People say decentralization is freedom, but only if you own. If you rent access, you will follow the rules or lose your income. That's not freedom. It's digital slavery. This isn't fear. It's preparation. You can own assets, You can participate in governance, or you can be managed. UBI won't be a choice. It'll be survival, and the terms won't be yours. You can scroll past this, but the system won't stop. You can't, but you can prepare. If you don't, you'll wake up owned, while others wake up free. Push back by owning, push back by building, push back by understanding, or stay asleep and get.
And that's not the pushback, trying to own, because you don't own anything. No one owns anything. Okay, it's an illusion of ownership. Okay, these devils gonna come hard-handed. It's gonna be get down and lay down. All right, they're not gonna leave you to yourself because you got, all right, some acres and a farm. No, they're coming at everyone. Everyone's gonna have to make a choice. All right, because if you own, you still have to pay taxes. Well, in order to pay taxes, you're gonna have to get down with this new system. Okay, so ownership is not, all right, a pushback to what these devils are doing. The only way out is for the elect of Israel. Okay, that's the only way out of this, man. Is the elect of Israel. Everyone else is through.
Get programmed. What is the control grid? The control grid is digital infrastructure. It controls access to everything, not just money, food, travel, healthcare, and employment. It's not one tool. It's a system of systems. Digital ID, used for banking, healthcare, education, already rolled out in India, Nigeria, EU pilots, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, state-controlled, programmable, traceable, can expire, can be paused, limited by purpose or location.
Can expire, okay? Can be paused. So ain't no saving money. Money gonna have expiration, and credit's gonna have an expiration on it. Okay, see, they're taking all physical possessions from people. They don't want people to own cars. They want, these smart cities are gonna be community cars. Okay, they don't want people owning anything physical. All right, so no more hoarding gold and money and silver and these. No, you're gonna have this digital currency. All right, that can expire, so ain't gonna be no saving. Okay, then they said certain money is gonna be programmable, where you can only buy certain things and it can only work in certain areas. So if you're somewhere where you're not supposed to be, your credit's cut off. Okay, ain't no more on the way home from work Friday deciding you want to go and take a trip to the next state. You want to go to the beach. No more of that, man. It's a system of complete control and tyranny, man, that this devil wants to bring. Okay, but he's gonna bring so much hell that people, okay, he got people so distracted that they're not looking into this. Okay, he's gonna bring so much hell that people are gonna be desperate for relief, and this is gonna be his relief. Okay, a system of complete control on another level. Okay,
Social credit, live in China, tested in Italy, Australia, Canada, scores based on behavior, purchases, speech, politics, smart cities, facial recognition, AI surveillance, geofencing, Internet of Things, Internet of Bodies, piloted in Saudi Arabia, UAE, China, planned for Paris, Singapore, New York, facial recognition, already in schools, airports, retail, connected to law enforcement, food linked to digital wallets, QR code rations, carbon tracking in Europe and South America, energy usage tracked, smart meters, carbon quotas tested in the UK and EU, internet access with verified ID, no ID, no internet, AI used for predictive enforcement, drones for curfews, cameras for crowds, speech detection in public areas, Emergency lockdown systems are already in place. AI traffic barriers, citywide alerts, drone enforcement. This is not future. This is present, layered in quietly, step by step. When technology knows you better than you know yourself, technology no longer waits for your input. It acts. Your phone, your apps, your fridge, your car, your thermostat. They don't ask. They decide. Your phone orders food before you're hungry. Your fridge suggests or restricts items. Your car limits travel based on your score. Your thermostat adjusts for climate goals. Your money auto-pays fines before you know they exist. This is not convenience. It is predictive control. Your digital self, built from your data, will be trusted more than your real one. Eventually, you won't realize you're not choosing. The system already has. Why your friends can't help you. When money is programmable and tied to digital ID, no one can help you. Not friends, not family, not community. If your wallet is frozen, they can't send anything. If theirs is restricted, they can't either. Peer-to-peer becomes system to subject. If you're flagged, you're locked out. This is not speculation. This is already happening. Why the US middle class is collapsing. Debt is rising. Jobs are automated. Assets are concentrated. Inflation is destroying value. Ownership is shrinking. The American middle class is becoming poor. Meanwhile, the simulated middle class is rising globally. Basic housing, digital food credits, limited travel, digital wallets, no real ownership, full control. It looks like equality, but it's hierarchy. Owners on top, renters below. The simulated middle class. In poorer countries, real economic growth is replaced by simulated income. No jobs, no ownership, just credits, just access, just conditions. Already happening in Africa, India, South America, UBI-style payments. Digital wallets, tied to digital ID, built for dependency. They won't build systems, they'll rent them. They won't own, they'll be managed. To the world, it looks like they've risen, but they are renters. Renting food, renting access, renting opportunity. It's controlled, it's conditional, it's manufactured, and while they rise, you decline. Silently, systematically. Why IT matters to you, because you are being replaced. As others rise in the system, you fall out of it. They will spend, they will travel, they will receive digital credits. You will lose access. No one is coming to save you. No system is being built for you. If you don't adapt, you will be left behind. This isn't fear, it's fact. You build now, or you lose everything later. Why lockdowns could return. Lockdowns were not a one-time event. They were a test. The playbook. Next trigger. A new virus. A climate emergency. A sporadic. Civil unrest. War. All simulated. All prepared. The next lockdown won't look like 2020. It will be digital. Your phone tells you to stay home. Your money won't work outside your zone. Your travel pass won't activate. Your access is blocked by. This is how they reposition society. This is how they reset the economy. This is how they restrict freedom. Not forever, just long enough to launch the new system. If you don't learn or own, no one can help you. If you don't understand the tech, if you don't own assets, if you're not building something, no one can save you.
Yeah, man. So like he's going into, like an overview. So this is happening right now. The middle class is diminishing, okay, as we speak. All right. And these systems are being set up, all right, to track and control, Palantir. Okay, all these tech guys around Trump. These guys aren't here, all right, just to take, pictures with the president. Okay. These guys have been sworn into the military, okay, as high ranking, military officials. Okay, these men have access to all data. All right, through Doge, they have the complete access to all data. All right, and they're setting up a system. They're setting up a digital prison right before your eyes while keeping you distracted. All right, this is what's being set up. Okay, and the people that depend on the government the most are the most vulnerable, and that's why they're starting with different sectors. Okay, the dependents. Okay, the poor, and then they're making the middle class the poor, so they can make the middle class dependent. You see, so this is why they have these things happening. With the job market is shrinking. It's shrinking. Okay, government jobs are being, all right, slash. Government workers aren't being paid because it's to get people to, all right, run through their savings. You see, they want everyone poor because that gives them the leverage. When you're poor, they have the leverage because poverty creates desperation. You see, so the system is being rolled out, and dependency is being okay, fabricated. They're pushing people to have no choice but to be dependent on them. You see, and this is why we have the cheat code with Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick. The brother posted it. All right, this is a affiliate camp in Georgia. All right, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, man. You know, because we understand the devil's, end game, what he's out to achieve, what he's out to accomplish. All right, and everything that we're seeing happening is just a means to an end. Okay, so whether it's cutting off, the government assistance, okay, making people, deplenish their savings. Okay, then the timing of it, this time of year where people spend the most. So here it is, we're in the time where people spend the most, and you have the most layoffs. All right, government shutdowns, so forth and so on. All right, and we know it's all a means to an end. Okay, and for the devil, he wants to have full leverage. Okay, over the masses. Now, when you go here to Proverbs 12:10, it says, "A righteous man regard the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel." So even a righteous man would even consider the life of his animals. Okay, but the tender mercies of the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, are cruel. Okay, so what this man thinks is him having mercy on you is actually cruelty, man. What this man pushes as mercy is cruelty. You see, this whole UBI thing, but then all the stipulations is going to come with the UBI. And then it's like the UBI, they say I've been hearing numbers of 2,000, 2,400 a month. Okay. Do you know how restricted you'll be with just that small amount of income per month? Especially if you're taking care of your overhead is that'd be crazy, man. But at the end of the day, this whole system is wicked. Even the way the system is now with the money is wicked, man. All of it wicked, man. Okay, and that's why we should have our mind on the new heaven and the new earth, man. All of it wicked, man. And he just wants to make it more wicked. Okay, through digital, all right, control. Okay, like I said, this would be a control on a whole another level. All right, but he's gonna have the leverage to present it as paradise while people are suffering. So he's bringing the suffering. Okay, so he can present this system of control, of complete control, as paradise, man. Okay, and Trump has, all right, the dream team in office, okay, to do it. You see, so let's segue here to this video. Matter of fact, let me get this, and then we'll switch segue. That's Proverbs 23. You see, and this man has never offered anybody, he's never gave anybody anything that benefited them. Okay, if this man seems to be giving you something, okay, there's a wicked agenda at hand. Matter of fact, brother can get that. Sirach 14:7, Bible Shah. Okay, well let's go here. It says Proverbs 23:1. It says, when thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee. Okay, and the scriptures, that's why we just read how we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We know what's before us. Okay, as Yahweh Shah said, they that walk in me walk in the light, so you won't be in darkness. So we won't be in darkness to what this devil is doing and what real salvation is. Okay, first understanding we're Israelites. Okay, we have a power that's above this madness that this devil is trying to roll out in the earth, and our power is from to judge this devil. So why in the hell will we submit to something we know is going to be destroyed? Okay, this whole system. You see? So we're able to consider diligently what is before us. Okay? But he's going to present this to the masses. Okay? Then 2/3 of our people, they're in the dark. Okay? And this is going to look like the best thing ever. The way he's going to sell it. All right? It says, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Okay? They are deceitful meat. Okay? So he's going to present this as a utopia. Okay? The solve all solution to all the problems of the world. Okay? Is through this digital system. Okay? But it's deceitful meat. But if you're not in the light, you can't see the deception. You know, the water, Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, for this truth, man, for this light to be able to see. Okay, we can see through the darkness, man. Okay, we've been illuminated on the right hand side. All right. So let's segue. Yeah, brother got that. So let's segue to this video here. This is from the guy Patrick Wood. Okay. Just to show you that this Trump cabinet, all right, they here to do the bidding of the elites, you know. So when you go here, Sirach 14:7, this is brother Amar Kabal 89. And if he do it good, he do it unwillingly. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. Okay. So now we're at the last where he's declaring his wickedness, man. Okay. Our people thought government assistance mean that he was concerned about their situation. Okay. People think that this man, he invents this technology for your well-being. You know, come to find out that the Amazon and all these different tech guys, they're nothing. Okay, they're part of these elite families. Okay, and these businesses, Amazon, Tesla, and all these different companies. Okay, they're all government agency, man, disguised as a private company. So people have been buying up this technology, okay, for this man to gather data. Okay, all this technology we got, gather data, laptop, cell phone, Ring camera, this smart TV, smart refrigerator, smart thermostat, all this is just gathering data. It's listening and watching everything. When you get a Ring phone, you just gave them another angle for them to tap into to get data. You know, you put these different cameras up, you just gave them another perspective to tap into, because they can tap into it from a central system. They can tap into any Ring phone, any phone, all these cameras. When you look at the phone on the camera, the camera is 17 lenses on the camera now. Like, god damn, but this is military technology, man. Okay, and they sold it to you as if you know, they were just all about, you know, upgrading and making your life convenient. You know, no. Now we're seeing what they're really rolling out, man, and it's a digital system of complete control. Now the thing is to convince the survivors of the mayhem to merge with technology, man. Okay, this is what we get. So let's play this just to show you. So this guy, he's been following technocracy for 20 years. You know, he was an economist. He was a he was a geopolitical analyst. Okay, but in 2005, you know, he just dropped everything and started following technocracy. You know, so when he seen the Trump office and how they was moving, he knew, said, this it. Okay, so let's listen to him for a few minutes. All right.
You were already on this in the late 70s. I want to pause right there because, and the title, The Evil Twins of Technocracy and Transhumanism, you were keeping an eye on this and researching this when almost nobody was looking into this or concerned or even aware that this was coming. What do you attribute that to? What was your interest? What led you into, this path? It's really fascinating to me.
It was because of my work on the Trilateral Commission in the 70s that I was sensitized to this issue, because the Trilateral Commission said all along they wanted to create a new international economic order. We didn't know what that meant at the time. I do now, because there's never been another economic system in the world created from scratch except for technocracy. So the Trilateral Commission talked about that, and we knew something screwy, but we just couldn't figure out what it was. But now when I discovered historic technocracy, it came out of Columbia University, of all the places, in 1932. And it was a resource-based economic system. It was really off the wall in many aspects. But when I got wind of it, circa 2005, I knew immediately what was going on. I could just see it, and I began to study it at that point. That became the dominating force of my life at this point. I had basically dropped everything else I was doing, all my financial work and newsletter work and stuff like that for geopolitics, and I had to cover this story. It's been the most important, I think the most important story to America, especially right now. And technocracy is descended on our country like a plague.
2005, 20 years ago.
Yes.
You dove in even further into this. Well, brother, that's where a lot of people, I think a lot of Christians, as informed as we tend to believe we are about most things, this is one area that I think just grabbed a lot of people and kind of shook us up. And so we're kind of looking at like a deer in the headlights here, just not only at what's happening, but how fast it's happening.
Yes.
And here's where you come in. Please explain in bullet point form, like you're so good at, how this is affecting us or going to affect our lives in the coming years. What do you see happening?
Well, this building, if we liken it to a building being constructed like a high-rise building, the building is planned for many years in advance, and all the architecture, the finance, the investors, all that kind of stuff, that has to be all in place before you lay or dig the first shovel of dirt, right? But when it finally gets to that point where it can be erected, all of a sudden, boom, it just comes to life, right? This is what's happened with this, especially all the stuff that's happened in the first 6 months, even in the Trump administration. This is the evidence that this has been in the planning stage for all these years. And at this point, they've pulled the cork and they're building the building right before our eyes. You're going to see a transformation of the financial system right now. You're going to see transformation of the legal system. You're going to see the transformation of business with AI and robots coming in. This is going to be the year of the robot, by the way. This has been declared by all these big, giant tech companies. Next year in 2026, you will be seeing robots walking around in society, even in your home, perhaps, maybe in a business or a restaurant or whatever. You're going to see robots that can engage with you in conversation, intelligent conversation, they say.
Wow.
I wouldn't bet on it, but it's coming. It's coming at this point.
So yeah, so he made a statement that when he seen how Trump was moving in 6 months, because he's been following this since the 70s. So he knows all the players, he knows all the the plots and the schemes and the narratives, and you see, he's been following technocracy since the 70s. So when he seen how Trump was moving, these first 6 months in office, his first 6 months in office, he like they done blew the top off of it. Like they rolling it out now. They got the groundwork done. Now they're starting to build up. Okay, so that's why he's saying you can see changes in healthcare, finances, government. He's saying you can see robots next year. We'll see. We don't know. Because he's from the outside looking in. All right, but him understanding the patterns and the players and the movers and shakers and their tendencies. Okay, he knows like, okay, they done took the top off the thing now since Trump is in office. So this lets us know that Trump was tasked to bring in the technocracy, man. Okay, and all the people that's around him, okay, they've been tasked to set this thing up. Okay, a system of complete control. And this is why it's been nonstop since day one in office. Okay, can never forget. Trump was inaugurated January 20th. Okay, January the 21st. Okay, what did he present? Stargate executive order, 500 billion. Okay, $500 billion to AI infrastructure. Okay, I have one of my neighbors, his nephew. He's an electrician, and he's working on a data center now. They got some data centers down here in Mississippi. They just brought 700 acres. But he says that these data centers are going to keep him busy for a long time. I'm asking him questions. I'm just trying to see. So I'm asking him. He like, yeah, these data centers gonna keep me busy for a long time. All right. They got big ones in Louisiana. They plan on doing, one in Mississippi, and Amazon and different tech giants. Okay, so they're rolling this thing out. Okay, they're not in the talks anymore. They're rolling this thing out, and the groundwork has been done. Now they're starting to build up. Okay, so this devil, he plans on bringing a digital nightmare dressed up as paradise and utopia. Okay, but see, this is why you go here to the book of Psalms. We know this devil is going to fail. All right, and we know we're not subjugated to, all right, this devil decrees and traps, and he doesn't have the leverage on the elect as he has on everyone else. Okay, so let's get this in Psalms 124. This whole psalm is a good psalm to read in these times, man. Psalms 124:1. It said, if it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, now may Israel say, if it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, when men rose up against us. Okay, so we have Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. Okay, in these times. Okay, and people that are just out there, they finna be overwhelmed. Okay, because it's so much that this devil got going on at the same time. Okay, so this devil, he's rising up, and we know that within him rolling out this new world order, he wants to eradicate the prophets. Okay, well, that's when he's going to meet major resistance from the power of Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, because he's being resisted now. That's why he's moving quickly. That's why he's scrambling to roll this thing out. You know, and I believe he's fast tracking in the spirit. You know, there's certain things that's not ready that he's just fast tracking, man. You know, because the spirit of the prophets is consuming this man. Okay, which that's the power of the Lord. It says, then they had swallowed us up quick. All right, when their wrath was kindled against us, man. Okay, because if we didn't have the Lord, man, we would be out of here. Okay, one Tuesday morning, man, this devil can just come and just have his way. You know, one random, you see, Tuesday morning, this devil can just we out of there. Okay, but see, he doesn't have that authority. He doesn't have that power. Okay, because even him rebelling, all right, he's still subjugated to the will of the Lord. Okay, it says, when their wrath is kindled against us, then the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our soul, then the proud waters, which is Esau, okay, waters being a people, because we'll say, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, then shall the Lord lift what a standard against him. Okay, so we're finna start seeing as this devil gets to making, you know, these major moves towards his new world order, the Lord's finna start countering this man with major moves on the right hand side. Okay, because even this truth, the prophets being raised up, was a counter to what these devils was doing on the left hand side with this new world order. Okay, so when they escalate, okay, on the left, the Lord's going to escalate on the right. Okay, the Lord got a counter for everything that this devil, okay, thinks that he's going to do. You see, and it says, then the proud waters had gone over, all right, our soul. Blessed be the Lord who have not given us as a prey to their teeth. Okay, the Lord not is going to give us over to a prey to these devils. They're not just going to have their way. We're not going to be a prey of their system. Their teeth is their power. Okay, and right now, all right, they're using what? People's livelihoods as leverage, you know, to get power over the people. You see, but the elect is not going to be subjugated to be a prey to this man's system, to his power. Okay, and it says, our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. You see, showing that this devil, he's led in the snare. Okay, but we're going to be like an escaped bird, ultimately in their chariot. You know, the scripture says, as birds flying. Okay, in Isaiah, as birds flying shall the Lord preserve Israel. Okay, so we're going to be escaped as a bird. All right, the snare is broken and we are an escape. Yeah, because Yahweh Shai is coming to destroy this whole system. And we're going to be like that escaped bird out of that trap. Okay, we get to fly away in those chariots, man. So while Yahweh Shai is destroying this system, okay, we're going to escape in those chariots, man. You see? So it read on, and it says, our help is in the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, who made heaven and earth. You see? So owning property ain't the way. Having gold, okay, a community network, nah, that's not the way. The way is this system being completely destroyed, okay, and the elect being delivered. Okay, that's the solution, okay, to what's going on. Okay, there ain't no solution within the system. The solution is going to come from without the, come from outside the system. That's Yahweh Shai, okay, in the heavenly host. Okay, that's why you read this here. Okay, read this one. The brother's got this. The brother in the Quam 777 Psalm 21 and 11. It says, for they intended evil, okay, against thee, They imagine a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. And also, the devil, he's going to have his way with the masses of the people, with 2/3. Okay, but he's not going to have his way with the elect. You see, that's when, okay, the game gonna shift. Okay, when the devil puts his target on the elect, okay, that's when we're gonna see major intervention. Okay, what they say, divine intervention. You see, so this devil, and he has no answer for what the Lord finna do. Okay, these people don't have no answer for what Esau finna do to them, but Esau has no answer about what the Lord finna do to him. You know, and when he puts his target on the elect and make his move, the Lord gonna make his move with him. Okay, Psalms 145 and 20. The Lord preserveth is from the brother Naquan 777. Psalms 145 and 20. The Lord preserveth all them, all right, that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. Okay, and that's beautiful, man. Straight to the point. The Lord's going to preserve his elect, which was predestined, you know, to fall back in love, okay, with our husband, and our husband to fall back in love with us, okay, and rescue from harm, okay. See, the wicked, they're finna be destroyed. You see, Esau, the Lord gonna allow him to go out on one last warpath, all right, and then he's gonna come to the king of terrors, and that's it. That's the end of his, okay, that's the end of his reign, man. All right, that's the end of Esau, any of these heathens ever having power in the earth. Okay, so let's go from there. All right, let's read this. We end it here. 2 Peter 3 and 10 said, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." Okay, and this is going to be a surprise. Okay, this day, because you're going to have civil unrest. You're going to have pockets of normalcy, and, just the script say in the days of Noah. Okay, you're going to have war going on, but then in the instant, it's going to go nuclear. You see, because once it go nuclear, we talking about 30 minutes, okay, for these missiles to start reaching their destination. 30 minutes, some 20 minutes. Okay. Once this thing go nuclear, man, it's over with. That's it. Once they hit them nuclear buttons, that's it. Once they launch off, okay, that's it. And Yahweh Shai be in the midst of that, man. He's going to show up in the midst of it to deliver his elect from their destruction, okay, and to completely destroy everything else. Okay, it says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are you to be in all holy conversation and godliness," man? So what should our mind be understanding? Okay, see, we understand these things. There's no way that this devil has any leverage on this to present this new world order as some type of upgrade or enhancement. Understanding what we know. Okay, this is why wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times. Okay, because we're not building on this system and this society being up and functioning. We've been building on Yahweh Shai, which is the kingdom to come, a righteous kingdom that's to come. Okay, so what manner of person are we to be? You see, hey, we should be detaching more and more. We should be dying more and more to this world and making room for Yahweh Shai and what he's getting ready to do. That's what should be. That's what should occupy our minds. Okay, you got people, they're just occupied with trying to get, normalcy back in America, trying to get, people still chasing the bag. People still are caught up in this delusion. Okay? People trying to build in the lake of fire. It's just not on fire yet. We know that this place is a lake of fire. It's just not on fire yet. All right, but you're going to have people making decisions to continue on in this place. Okay, when this CHIP is made mandatory. Okay, because why? They're in the dark. You see, we're going to appreciate the light. We're going to appreciate being building on Yahweh Shai in these times to come. Okay, it said, looking for and hasten unto the coming of the day of the Most High, where the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And that's the infrastructure of this place, man. All right, because Esau is in his heaven, he's in his rulership. Okay, so this devil, everything that he's built up in his rulership over here in America is going to be melt with fervent heat. Okay, other places going to get hit as well. The chairs going to be getting busy. Okay, so if we understand these things, verse 13, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and the new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. Okay, so we, according to the promises of the scriptures, man, we look forward to life after this, man. You know, we haven't began to live yet. Okay, because our life is in Yahweh Shai. Okay, he's going to come and we're going to be able to customize the earth in righteousness, you know, to our liking as Israelites, man. You see? So we have so much to look forward to after the destruction of America, man. You see? So we see beyond the trap. Okay? But if your life, your reality starts and ends with, okay, what Esau, okay, has portrayed, then you're out of there. He got you, man. Okay? So that's the point. You don't want to get into that, you know, Lord will. All right, you brothers. All right, and you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, Shalom.